morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to look at the very first special illustration rare, which is coming around for Pokémon Card 151 over in Japan. This is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely awesome. We might as well just get straight to it. Let's show you the card. It's Zapdos. We've had a bunch of artwork rares shown off, but we've yet to see any special art rares. Remember the terminology, it is special art rare in Japan, it is special illustration rare in English. I prefer the English term pure, in fact I prefer the term art rare, but I do like that when I abbreviate it when I'm saving file names, I save it as like Zapdos Sir, and I don't know why, that just amuses me. Like they've all been knighted. But the point is, we are getting this Zapdos special art rare, and it is absolutely stunning. And look, we knew that these were probably going to be pretty good, right? Our expectations had been raised, I think it's fair to say, given what we'd seen already. Remember Poliwhirl? Yeah. Remember Snorlax? These were stunning cards that everybody loves, so it shouldn't really surprise you that the special art rare, the first one we've seen, is particularly awesome. Now, there is an important point to be noted here, and that is that it gives us pretty much a nice hint of how many special art rares there will be. Now, to be perfectly clear, this is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, so just bear that in mind as I start this part of the video. But essentially, in this set, the Pokemon are in Pokédex order, not in type order like they usually are. So for instance, Bulbasaur is number 1 in the Pokédex, Bulbasaur is number 1 here, and Pikachu, everybody knows, is number 25. They keep putting it on merch. Pikachu is number 25 here. Zapdos is one of the last Pokemon in the Pokédex, the Gen 1 Pokédex. Now, it's not actually the very last, so there could be some more afterwards. But remember, special illustration rares are only EXs, and we know what the EXs are. We saw that on a poster ages ago. What that means is, after Zapdos, the only Pokemon that can get a special illustration rare is Mew. Because we know for a fact at this point that the only Pokemon that comes after Zapdos in the Pokédex that has an EX in the set is Mew. Now, we don't actually know the final artwork rare, maybe, but we do know that Snorlax is number 181, and it's late in the Pokédex. Now, after Snorlax, we still have Articuno, Moltres, the whole Dragonite line, and Mewtwo, any or all of which could get artwork rares. That is very important. But Snorlax is 181, and Zapdos is 204. Which means Zapdos is 23 cards after Snorlax. Now, as a point of order, and this is very, very important, if we have a look at, say, Snow Hazard as an example, the way the set goes is normal Pokemon, and then other trainers, artwork rares, full art Pokemon, full art supporters, special illustration rares. That is the way their sets tend to go. So what that means is, yes, there are 22 cards between Snorlax and Zapdos. However, that does include any full art Pokemon EXs, and it could be that everyone gets a full art EX. That does often happen in sets. And it does include full art supporters as well, probably assuming that they keep the same standard, which we expect them to. Although, again, not confirmed yet. But also remember, there aren't 22 EXs in the set. We know there aren't 22 EXs in the set. We know there's 12. So we don't have perfect information. There could be more artwork rares after Snorlax. There could be as many as 12 full art EXs. And there could be some full art supporters in there as well, you would imagine. And then we get to the special art rares, including Zapdos. But there's going to be a few of them. I think that's fair to say. So that could be very, very interesting. I wish I could give you better information here. I'm sorry I can't. But that's the standing as we have it at the moment. And for anyone that's wondering, yes, I would expect Mew to get a special artwork rare. Partly because we know there's an Ultra Premium collection coming. I'm assuming we're going to steal it for our Ultra Premium collection. That is absolute prediction on my part, but I still feel pretty good about it. So as for the Zapdos then, what do we have? I've long been of the opinion that this Zapdos is like a legit good card that is going to see a bunch of play in Miraidon decks, and I am very happy about this. We've got an ability that gives it free retreat while it's got lightning energy attached, which is good. And then we've got an attack that for free energy does 120 damage, and also 90 damage to a bench Pokemon with any damage counters on, which is clearly awesome. Now, it's not perfect, I think that's fair to say, because the energy can be a pain. We have Electric Generator, but it's still a little bit awkward. Similarly, damage on the bench is again a little awkward, although do remember we have Hawlucha. But then, and look, here's the deal. There is a world in which you go second, hit 2 energy off of Electric Generators, get your Hawlucha, and then hit 120 to the active, 90 to the bench, turn 1 going second. That is absolutely in the realms of possibility. But you have to hit 2 energy off of Electric Generators, either both off 1 or 1 off of 2 or whatever, and you need to get your Hawlucha, and then you need to get this in the active, and it's just a little bit awkward. Yes, Miraidon will help you search this out. It's lovely, but I don't, and believe me, I like playing super aggressive decks. I don't see this as an early game donking machine. Although there is a possibility that your opponent starts 2 Pokemon, you KO them both and win the game, and that's hilarious. But it's way more likely that this is going to be a utility attacker in Miraidon decks. Not amazing, but a very good utility attacker that can take out the active while taking cheeky bench prizes, and that's pretty gosh darn cool. So we love the art, card could be good, and it does give us a hint as to the numbers of special art rares, but like I've said, until we know the final art rare, until we know how many full art supporters and Pokemon there are, it gives us some information, but it doesn't tell us the answer. But then since we got a couple of minutes, let's have a chat about Arcanine as well. A very cool card that was revealed from the set, which we've not had a chance to talk about yet. So let's have a talk about it now. Translation from myself, but obviously checked with the lovely Antoine Boulet to make sure I've not done anything silly. So we've got 150 HP on a stage 1, which is not too shabby. And we've got 30 damage, and what you do is attach 2 basic fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Now, attacks like this have always made me extremely nervous, because you're in the active. And what that means is, you stay in the active, you accelerate 2 energy to yourself, and then you kind of sit in the active, crossing your fingers you don't get KO'd. I cannot be the only one that thinks sitting in the active, crossing your fingers that you don't hit KO is a bad thing. If you survive, yay! But there is an excellent chance that what happens here is you use this attack, and then you get KO'd. And it's all for nothing. The energy goes straight back to your discard. I suppose you at least do 30 damage, so maybe you can find a 60 HP Pokemon to KO while doing this, but it's not perfect, I think it's fair to say. But then we got 4 energy, 240, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. Nice. Kind of. And you see, here's the deal. 240 is great for KOing Pokemon V. It is actually just shy of the magic number of 280 that you need to hit to KO Pokemon V-Star. I know you'll be using Choice Bout. What I mean is, when you put a Choice Bout on, you add 30, you do 270. Oh, look, you're 10 damage short of the magic number of 280. That's a pain. Yes, you can use a previously mentioned Hawlucha if you can catch them on the bench, but hopefully here you can see how this ends up being a little bit awkward, and I'm not a gigantic fan of it. I'm sorry. The damage is close. And in terms of energy acceleration, we've got Magma Basin. Attaches an energy from your discard pile to this, or to any bench fire Pokemon, at the cost of 2 damage counters, which again isn't ideal. But basically, you can either Magma Basin, attach, and then next turn Magma Basin, attach, or you can Magma Basin one of the 2 turns that you use in this, 1 turn for Growlithe, 1 turn for Arcanine, And then one turn you attach a fire and one turn you attach a double turbo. Yes, double turbo will lower it to 220, which is actually the magic number for Pokemon V, but will put you out of range of Pokemon V-Star, you have been warned. Unlike a lot of Pokemon we see, this one it's really close. The energy is a bit too much, but there are ways to pay it. The damage is a bit too low, but it'll still get a bunch of relevant KOs. I'm giving this between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I don't think this is a bad card, but I'm a little bit worried. You know, if this was 3 energy and it did 250, I would be all over it. If it was 4 energy and it did 250, I'd be kind of liking it more. But 4 energy 240, it's like the card designers are teasing us and they've left it just a little bit short. Sorry about that. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know if you like this Zapdos. I want to know which of the EXs you want to get special art rares. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's been a supporter of ours literally since I started the podcast in 2012, and is a very lovely person. So shout out to Martin for the support over the years and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.